it's Chris, back at you with another video. Well, it's been a while, huh? I took a week off, and then I just put up the podcast last week. So, yeah, let's get into this new video. So, Lego Batman. Alright, this is going to be kind of a non-traditional review, just because I feel like this is kind of a non-traditional movie. First of all, non-spoiler review. If you're a fan of Batman, go see this movie. You'll love it. There's just a ton of references and things that you're just going to enjoy. If you're a geek in general, I still say go see it. Lego Batman is a spin-off of the Lego movie, showing the life of everyone's favorite cape hero and giving it a comedic interpretation. The movie is animated in the style of Lego, with voice actors voicing over the characters when they're talking. There's just so much about this movie that's going to make you laugh, that's going to reference things that you know about, that if you're a geek of any kind, you'll undoubtedly enjoy this movie. If you're not a geek or not in the Batman at all, I'd still say go see it. There's a lot of just genuinely funny moments, and this movie is just a fun take on the Batman franchise. Just go with one of your friends who's a Batman fan so they can tell you what some of the references mean, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it too. Like, I mean, this movie got 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, so non-spoilers, it was great. Go see it. Like, there's just go see it. Now, for the spoilers. Holy crap. This movie did so much, it was almost overwhelming. One thing I want to learn about this movie moves very fast. Jokes come one after another. So the characters and the story gets from point A to point B very quickly. If you compare this to a movie like Deadpool, where that movie would kind of make a joke, and then they would give you a little bit of time to laugh for the joke to stick until they moved on to something else, Lego Batman doesn't do that. Lego Batman just goes really fast. And I almost feel like I'm getting older now, because even for me as a 20-something-year-old, I'm like, man, this movie's moving super freaking quick. You know, I think it would be the best rate probably for kids. I think kids are going to be just fine with the pacing, but adults might be like, okay, this movie's moving really fast. But it's also a comedy and it's satire, so that's what you're going to get. The movie is essentially about this comedic interpretation of Batman is pretty much a loner. He doesn't really have any friends besides Alfred. He doesn't want to work with anyone. And throughout the course of the movie, he learns the importance of friendship. Pretty easy concept. It also deals with his rivalry with the Joker. The Joker wants to be Batman's #1 arch enemy, and this is, you know, the Joker's relationship with Batman is also a big comedic element of this movie, because the Joker wants to be Batman's greatest enemy, but Batman doesn't really take him that seriously. So the Joker has to go through and do an extreme plan pretty much to just get Batman's attention. You know, Batman and Joker's relationship has sometimes been hinted at being slightly, like, homoerotic, like, especially if you played the Arkham games where the Joker would sing to Batman and whatnot. You know, there's this really weird kind of element to their relationship, and the Lego Batman movie pretty much plays with that for laughs. So if people ship Batman and Joker, I mean, this is your movie. So as far as the main characters go, Batman is funny, he's hilarious, he's badass, he's awesome, and he's just a goofy character. The version of Robin they have is a very, like, hyperactive, almost like annoying interpretation of Robin. And seeing the trailers, I thought Robin was going to be weird. In the movie though, Robin is actually pretty funny. He has some good lines. You know, he's essentially like a Batman Bruce Wayne fanboy that gets adopted. So Robin's funny, he's a lot of fun. Barbara Gordon is the new police chief in Gotham, taking over for Commissioner Gordon, and she's essentially there to be kind of the straight man to a lot of the craziness that goes on in this movie, because this movie is insane, and she does a good job. And Alfred's there, you know, giving his Lego words of wisdom. Pretty much any interpretation of Alfred, it's the same Alfred, but this Alfred actually does get into a lot of the action. So that was one thing I did appreciate, that no member of the Bat family was kind of regulated to the cave, where everyone got to kind of go out and fight and do some interesting stuff. So the big thing about this movie that sets it apart from any other comedic interpretation of a superhero is that this entire world is made out of Legos. Lego Batman is a spin-off of the Lego movie that came out a few years ago, so that's something I kind of forgot, and it kind of comes back later. So this movie is able to do a lot of crazy action scenes and have a lot of effects because it's animation and they're using Legos. So when people get like shot and stuff like that, it's funny because they're bricks. They're Lego. That's why the movie's funny. And you would think like, okay, that'll get old after a while, but no, they have some good just general Lego gags where you're just like, oh, this is a comedy. It's not to be taken that seriously. Alright, so the most exciting part about this movie is something I mentioned earlier, and that is the cameos. This movie makes references to pretty much any iteration of Batman ever. They make reference to the modern movie, like BVS, the Dark Knight trilogy, the Michael Keaton Batman, the Adam West Batman. This movie makes references to the Batman comics and different Batman cartoons. You know, everything from lines of dialogue the characters have to certain costumes that Batman has in his Batcave. The Justice League also has a pretty funny cameo in this movie. Pretty much, Batman has to break into Superman's Fortress of Solitude to steal a device that he has, and he goes in there and he finds the entire Justice League just having a party, and they didn't invite him because the other superheroes don't like Batman. Like, that's hilarious. This movie just does so many just funny jokes and gags. The biggest twist this movie has is that during one part of the movie, the Joker realizes that he wants to get some more villains to defeat Batman, and he ends up going into the negative zone, which is where Superman keeps all of his villains. So when this first happened, I thought like, oh, are we going to get some more DC, like non-Batman villains? You know, are we going to get people like Darkseid and Brainiac and Mongol and people like that? No. Forgetting that this Lego movie has access to all of Warner Brothers properties, the villains that the Joker finds are all villains from other movies and franchises. So this is probably the biggest twist of the movie. The Joker releases villains like Lord Voldemort from Harry Potter, the evil robots from Doctor Who, Gremlins, King Kong, Godzilla, the raptors from Jurassic Park, the shark from Jaws. I mean, for God's sakes, the shark from Jaws is in a Batman movie. Like, what a crazy world we live in. You see the flying monkeys from Alice in Wonderland and the big evil eye from Lord of the Rings. If you had told me the flying monkeys from Alice in Wonderland, Neo from The Matrix, and the big evil eye thing from Lord of the Rings would be in a Batman movie like 10 years ago, I wouldn't have believed you. This movie ends up having characters, not just Batman characters and people from the Batman universe, but characters from all over Warner Brothers properties. Now, one kind of con they have with this movie is that it is cool to see all those different characters from different franchises show up in the movie, but the movie doesn't necessarily do a ton with them. Like, you don't really see Batman interact with a lot of these, like, crazy movie villains all that much. They're pretty much there to be intimidating and be scary, and once the good guys kind of get their stuff together, they're taken away. And I would have liked to have seen, like, Batman go up against Lord Voldemort, and, you know, for some reason he takes out like Harry Potter's wand and blasts him, or, you know, Batman flies a plane and shoots King Kong off of a building. Like, I would have liked to have seen that. Instead of that, they have Batman actually release all the Batman villains from Arkham Asylum, the, you know, people like Bane and the Riddler and Penguin and whatnot, and they actually end up fighting against these other movie villains, and that's how they retake the city. And it's kind of a jab at Suicide Squad, using villains to fight villains. I mean, even lampshade that. But that's what they chose to do, and it was fine. But I do think it may have been cool to see Batman be Batman and just fight all these new different crazy characters. So many Batman villains and characters from his lore show up in this movie. You get like Bane, the Riddler, Penguin, Catwoman, you know, even super obscure characters like Calendar Man and Condiment King that people would have no idea who they were. They're in this movie. Now, a lot of them only have either one or two lines or barely any lines. Because this is such a comedic interpretation of Batman, it's not how this movie just shows off so much of Batman's lore and what people love about the character. So I really enjoyed this movie. I'm going to go ahead and give it 9 Batman heads out of 10. I really enjoyed this movie. If you're a Batman fan, I have no doubt that you'll enjoy it. If you just want to see a goofy, funny movie, or you need something to go send the kids to go see, you should also go see it. But definitely go see the movie with someone who knows Batman, because the references are probably the best part of the movie, and there are so many. I definitely want to go get this on like DVD, Blu-ray, just so I can scrub through and see all the jokes they made. I guarantee there are ones that probably didn't even make it in. So let me know what you thought about Lego Batman. Leave a comment down below. Also, if you liked the video, hit the like button and subscribe, and until next time, I will see you all later. Peace.